To break.
Daybreak.
To break.
I have to look over because I don't actually have the replay loaded. I apologize.
You're a terrible person, Charlie Brown.
Oh, easy. Don't go full naming me.
I called you Charlie Brown.
You don't have to go full naming me, man.
Charlie Brown. All right, let's
actually,
introduce.
I was in the Charlie Brown play when I was back. You know how you have to have like a Charlie Brown has a Thanksgiving or whatever? And like has a Christmas. I did that. I was Snoopy the dog. And there's actually a video of me on YouTube. If you search hard enough of me dancing in a Snoopy contest or costume, not a contest. I was the best Snoopy.
There's no pictures of me in a Green Man outfit back when I had my swimmer's body.
No. My producer's searching for it. You can't find it. I promise you won't find it. It's got like 50 views and like only like every parent watched. Oh my god, it's so embarrassing.
Let's talk about the players.
Let's introduce our players here on Daybreak. In the bottom left corner, we have DarKFoRcE. The blue Terran from Team Dignitas. His name is also SjoW. And he is going to scout after his supply depot. Daybreak, a map that a lot of Terrans have been trying to play macro, and Xerx have been busting them.
Oh, this isn't a scout, sir.
Oh, is it a proxy?
This is a double proxy.
Oh, he's sending a
sickness. Devious plans. Devious plans.
But he's devious plans against whom, Andre?
Against DarKFoRcE.
The red Zerg in the top right corner.
In the top right-hand corner.
DarKFoRcE just sounds like such an epic name. Like, well, because first of all, it's DarKFoRcE.
It's DarKFoRcE, yeah.
It also sounds like a faction in the Lord of the Rings mythology.
No, it sounds like a spell in Final Fantasy.
DarKFoRcE?
Yes. Use the DarKFoRcE.
I guess, or it could just be literally the DarKFoRcE.
Or Guardian Force or something.
From Star Wars. Do you know why he's named DarKFoRcE? I don't. But he's going to have to, whatever he summons his powers from, he's going to need something to defend against these proxy turrets. Now, he did scout and saw, what did he see? He didn't really see much. And
well, he saw that his opponent didn't have any barracks inside the
yeah, so he didn't
base.
see much. That's what scares him.
Well, yeah. He didn't see much, but he sees everything at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, mind blown. Now, there is one little thing he has to be careful of. He could be saying to himself, well, this could actually be a 14cc, so he doesn't want to overdo it. But there's the distance bunker. And SjoW will put this down in sight of this one drone. Oh, he repairs it. Okay.
Yeah, that's just a nice little thing. He's going to pull some of his drones to try to see if he can get into the position to deny the Marines. And you can see that, oh, he does pick off the SCV. Pretty good pick off there. Nonetheless, DarKFoRcE is reacting very, very sharply to this, and he needs to.
Perfect. One drone goes down. Is that one drone?
Yes.
Let me check. Yeah, it's just one drone for one SCV. 2 spine crawlers go up at this point, and I like that. He actually sacrifices a couple of queens here.
Oh my.
Because he knows his opponent is so far in the red at this point.
Yes, he really needs to do that, and you can see that SjoW trying to fall back. Now the Zerglings, they're just going to pile at this point, when the point where they can really just go for a surround. But SjoW's trying to do this very methodically. He has another SCV on the way, also to help repair, also just in case that one gets picked off. But at the same time, those spine crawlers will act as a wall that will just prevent any more bunkers from going up. So SjoW really needs to do this quickly. But at the same time, the spine crawlers do finish, so this is really looking pretty good for DarKFoRcE thus far. 2
is really important. Now, I wouldn't say that DarKFoRcE should have actually pushed up with both of them so fast, but it looks like it's enough time. This bunker isn't in range of the 2 spine crawlers. They outrange it by 1. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a Marauder in there. But that being said, I don't think DarKFoRcE will have to worry about any of this pressure anymore. 2 spine crawlers is more than enough to stop any sort of all-ins like this. And look at that command center behind this. Now, the big thing that DarKFoRcE has to worry about is this 4 barracks directly after this with an SCV pull, or is this macro play? Obviously, 2 different styles.
The follow-up is macro play, apparently. As you can see, the command center and double refineries started for SjoW. So.
But DarKFoRcE has no indication of any of this.
Yeah.
He has his Overlord. This should have been all the way down here. It's unfortunate. Of course, at the heat of the moment, I understand that that happens all the time. But if he had that Overlord in position, he would be able to see this happening. I like what he's doing with the Zerglings, though.
I also like what SjoW's doing with the barracks as well. He's going to use it to try to disposition the Overlord. I say that because one of our technical directors was like saying dispositioning is not a word. So, but SjoW, nonetheless, he uses barracks also just to hunt in spots where Overlords are normally are. So a nice little little trick there just to put DarKFoRcE further behind in terms of production. But DarKFoRcE has held it off pretty easily, and he kept a lot of his Zerglings as well. He didn't like sacrifice all his units to hold it either, so it was a very good job, and you can see that both players are just trying to power up normally.
Yeah, I think DarKFoRcE is in a great position. Let's go ahead and look at the income tab. 29 Harvest versus 23. He should be a lot farther ahead, but because he had to delay his queens, I like that. It's overall safer. But a lot of players would just say, no, I'm just going to double queen from here, or just go a single queen. DarKFoRcE opting to just play super safe, and it's really paid off. Although he hasn't had that big of an advantage just yet, it will start to come out right now. 34 Harvesters, 38 Harvesters to 24. It's quite a big advantage.
Yeah. With those injects, he should be able to get far ahead. But SjoW has a third command center about to finish up as well. Oh, wow, and he's going to get double eBay as well. So playing really greedy behind this, but I think he feels like he can because DarKFoRcE at this point is just playing, he's playing safe himself.
Yes.
You can see he's getting speed, getting his third hatchery as well. So now that this game has kind of been thrown into a funky loop in terms of timings, how do you think the mid-game will unfold out? Do you think with current advantage in DarKFoRcE, do you think he'll have control over the mid-game, or will SjoW be able to force his way in now that he got a faster portable command?
I think DarKFoRcE should be able to control this mid-game stage. He has almost all the saturation he needs for his 2 bases right now. He will be able to get his 3rd base up very quickly. A macro hatch should be put down pretty soon as well.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Once
enough.
he establishes that, if he gets a scout out and sees double eBay again, the instant call is going to be a Zergling Baneling, huge pressure again, just like we saw in game number 1 on Belshire Beach. That's like the #1 thing you want to do because your opponent has gone for such delayed siege tanks. You see double eBay, you know your opponent can't get siege tanks and Medivacs out at the same time. Just crush your opponent. It doesn't necessarily have to kill them, just hinder them quite a bit. Stop them from having a lot of units so they can't take their 3rd base, and just continue your advantage that way.
You can see that siege tanks aren't even attempted. SjoW just utilizing right now that reactor on his factory, and you can see that SjoW's still not teching up to even a starport either. Really staying on low tech for a while, and now we're saying that he doesn't have the gas flexibility to really do all of those things, but at least he could do a couple of them. For now, he's going to stay on these Marines and Hellions, but of course, it is a response because he sees an incredible amount of Zerglings, and that's kind of DarKFoRcE's style. He really doesn't like roaches in 2v2.
That's exactly right. And Hellions proved to be pretty strong, except against Banelings on creep, man. Banelings on creep can wipe out anything in the Terran arsenal if they're not paying attention. All it takes is a split second, and boom, you're gone. You don't have anything down. So I like overall where DarKFoRcE is, obviously. He needs to get his 5th and 6th gas ASAPly. And look at this. Look how safe he is. Spore Crawler gets put down in all the locations, or all major locations. Yeah. No Banshee harass for you, SjoW.
72 drones to 48 SjoW, finally starting his starport. No indication he can. I mean, with the delayed siege tanks, that also makes his it also forces his inability to grab a 3rd, at least in terms of getting positioning that much easier. So it's just really interesting to see how SjoW is transitioning after getting those 3 factories. His Hellions are trying to harass the 3rd as much as possible, but DarKFoRcE just being very good with his static defense plays. Yeah. His spine crawlers early on have been good. They're good now, and he's hitting all the major locations with spore crawlers.
Okay, so here's the big scout in right here. The Overseer in this mid left-hand corner is going to catch and see the double eBay. He will see the upgrades. He doesn't see the 2-2 actually being upgraded just yet. But overall, a great scout. He should realize that my opponent is pretty siege tank light, and Zergling Banelings are the correct choice. And there it is, 30 Zerglings out. He's actually going to Hive. He's playing this super safe. He does not want to lose this at all. He knows he has a giant advantage. He should be taking a 4th base as soon as the 30 Zerglings pump out. Just take your Xel'Naga Tower and actually double expand. That's great too.
And just as you say, Andre, Drone is moved out here because he needs to secure those gases for the Hive tech. As you can see, some really important timings are about to line up accordingly. 2-2 for both players. Pathogen glands, so infestors will be out into the field. And these Hellions are trying to run for dear life, and looks like some of them will at least drop immediately. Now, of course, at the same time, DarKFoRcE doesn't know the siege tank count. In fact, he didn't even see the factory when his Overseer was killed off. So, but lucky for him, there's only 1 siege tank out currently right now, so SjoW's 2-2 timing isn't exactly the strongest at the moment, but DarKFoRcE still looking pretty good at this moment.
Yeah, I would say just because of SjoW's underdevelopment throughout the game, he's not able to do any timings. His only timing is a 3-3. Because his opponent could be doing so many different things knowing that he got an advantage in that early game stage. That's why it's so rough to take such a huge loss in that early game stage. You're put behind dramatically, and then all of a sudden you have to defend against pushes that don't exist normally because you're just so far behind. Zergling pressure, Zergling Baneling pressure that is no longer all in feels like it's all in. It feels so threatening. So that's why SjoW has played a lot more defensive this game, and he really can push out until Broodlords and Ultras are already out in the field.
And we're going to see SjoW scout the Hive already completed, and these Marines are trying to snipe whatever they can. Now keep in mind, there's a lot of important tech here, but no worries, the Zerglings and Infestors will actually catch that medevac. I wasn't sure if SjoW's going to get out in time, and he doesn't. So a good pick off there, but at the same time, SjoW got pretty much all the information you could ever ask for.
That's
Hive,
a very
Infestor.
Expensive scout there,
Yeah.
Rodan.
Could have just scanned, right? Yeah. I'm trying to look at the silver lining, Andre.
I know.
I'm positive, man.
I was like, oh, yeah, he does scout out everything, but that's probably one of the more expensive scouts I've ever seen before. 20 supply worth of units. And SjoW looks to be taking his 4th base. Nope.
Well, he is finishing up double command centers and preparing. Now, last time we visited.
Combat shields.
Oh wow, he really doesn't. Oh wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
SjoW forgot that, and of course he's had a lot of gas flexibility throughout this whole game, so he could have actually afforded that a long time ago. Zerglings do scout the Marines, but without combat shields, fungals are way more efficient, considering that the combat shields give 20% of life to Marines, basically.
Yeah. Well, if he gets one more upgrade, he can actually one-shot every single one of these Marines with a single Baneling. Ouch.
Oh wow, yeah, that's true. Because it does 43, it does 43 damage, so that's pretty crazy. And it's, fungals with Banes will just kill him that much faster.
Yep.
You can see the Zerglings and Banes getting into position to flank. Oh no, SjoW looking very, very vulnerable because this is a position where you can come in from 3 different angles. Although DarKFoRcE will choose to just go from 2, the one from the right and from the bottom, as the Banes are rolling to the Marines directly, forcing them forward. You can see the Infestors trying to get into the battle, and they do land a couple of fungals. The Ultra is now alone to face the Marines, and you can see SjoW, his army completely crushed, as DarKFoRcE whittled down the army very nicely.
118 supply to 198. SjoW now trying to take his expansion, but he should have taken position over here rather than going all the way in this bottom middle. But I understand where he's trying to go with this. He's saying, well, I need to do something of this. I need to put pressure on my opponent, or else he can just go into the invincible army and I can't do anything about it. So I like where SjoW is, but it looks like another round of units is bearing down on his opponent, or on him rather.
Yeah.
And SjoW has no way to stop this.
Yeah, I mean, the DarKFoRcE learned from last time, don't be too passive and let SjoW just build up another army, because he's just going to keep doing this nonstop. And you can see he's going to, at least he met it with a wall, he's going to try to make some Banelings to perhaps crash the wall and see if he can force himself in manually. 36 Banelings in production, my goodness. DarKFoRcE going to absolutely destroy this base. Whether he chooses to go for a planetary or tries to bust the 3rd, but either way, some Terran buildings are not going to live for much longer.
No. Oh, and combat shields is still not upgraded.
They were so young, man.
Not that I think
combat shields still not upgraded.
Combat shields, I don't think would have changed that fight, the last fight. But here we go.
Oh, here come the Zerglings, Banelings, and Ultralists with Infestor support. And SjoW, he's got tanks in a decent position, but the Ultralist flank keeping them occupied for a long time. The Banelings coming in from the north. The Marines trying to run as fast as they can, but they are met with the wall of siege tanks. And that is probably the best thing that could have ever happened for DarKFoRcE, as that tank force field was something to be remembered. As you can see, SjoW losing the remainder of his army. Max supply against 100. The Terran supply is dipping extremely low. As you can see, SjoW is completely backed to his production line. And with that, as always, the ending signs of defeat. But of course, SjoW won't GG just yet. He's going to try to hang on as long as he can. As long as he has a couple of Marines, he's going to think he's going to try to salvage whatever he can. But with Zerglings, Infestors, Ultralists, everything barreling down,
and no
what can you
combat
really
shields.
do? No combat shields, man.
Makes me so sad, man. Every pro gamer has done this once in their career. At least once.
Yeah, I've done this. And I don't even play Terran really. play random. But yeah, I mean, it's such a critical upgrade. I mean, it's just so much better keeping your Marines alive that much longer. And you can just see SjoW. He's just, this entire series. Sorry, what are you saying about the Infestors?
Look.
Oh, they're getting cornered, so that might breathe some new hope into SjoW, but as soon as he sees these Zerglings and Ultras, he's going to realize he has to stay in his base for a while. But let's talk a little bit about the series now that we've seen everything.
Well,
I think
this could go on for 15 minutes longer.
SjoW just keeps getting surrounded by DarKFoRcE's great setups.
That's what happened in Belshir Beach. That's what happened here. 2 times it was he was not in position. His siege tanks weren't sieged up, or his Marines weren't in great position, or he just got completely flanked. And DarKFoRcE just took it to him and said, okay, well, I'm going to take this beautiful position and explode some of my banelings on your Marines, and I love you long time.
DarKFoRcE preparing double Spire, you know, just in case he needs to get those units out, in case SjoW decides to float his buildings. Also, just the finishing blow. SjoW, I mean, the Ultralists and Zerglings and Bings are great, but they're not good at attacking up a ramp necessarily, so he might wait for that. But honestly, DarKFoRcE is just that far ahead. You can see SjoW, again, mining and getting whatever he can out. 8 Marines, 1 tank, but this is also not looking that good for me, because I predicted SjoW to win this series.
Me too.
Okay. Yeah, but you also predicted the Muslim and hero correctly, so this just ruins your perfect day. But oh man, so
wait, no, he did not. Look at that.
Oh, he
seconds
just
away.
Started it. Oh, SjoW. He says, that's why. Oh my, DarKFoRcE realizing it, and of course, that's just now that's heartbreaking. We were kind of joking earlier before, but just forgetting that upgrade. And what makes it worse is sometimes, you know, you actually do press the C for combat SjoW, you click it, and sometimes maybe due to natural lag or something, maybe a hiccup in computer, but you can see the last few units here barreling down from DarKFoRcE. Nothing really can stand to the might of Zerg, but just like you were saying, man, it's happened to everyone. It's unfortunate to happen here.
Exactly. You know, if it was White Raw playing against him, White Raw would have actually said, hey, you forgot combat shields. And like 10 minutes in. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. GG.
DarKFoRcE takes game number 3 and the series 2-1.
And not only that, his first win at the NASL Season 3 group stages.
And he now moves to 1-4.
So there's a lot of headway to make.
Yes, but
I mean, he needs to.
Now is better time than never. So
he needs to go, man.
DarKFoRcE playing catch up and making his way up the division rankings. SjoW now, I believe, ties him in the bottom of the division. So, but SjoW actually is technically ahead based off points. I was just looking at the score sheet here. So both of those guys equalize. A very important match indeed. But guys, that game and series was brought to you by Twitch.tv. Thank you so much for them providing the stream, as well as the things where you can pick up your subscriber pass. Go to NASL.tv for more information. Guys, our last series of the day will be Hostwabs versus Ryung, a Protoss versus Terran. We've seen a couple TVZs, but let's look at PVT a little bit after this break, so don't go anywhere. Our last series of the day is coming up right after this.